So a question may be, how did SEEP come together? What allowed and inspired those people gathering in New York City 36 years ago to say, yes, we want to be an organization. We want to be a mission-driven, congregationally based community that creates things of importance in the life of the church, in our own congregations, yes, but also in the life of the whole Episcopal Church. The Lilly Endowment played a very important role in this, and part of the DNA of the consortium is a philanthropic sense. Learning was going on about, well, what does it mean to be a congregation with unusual resources? And how can those resources make a difference in the life of the church itself? So different denominations were doing that. But in the Episcopal Church, the Spirit moved us to say, we really need to formalize that. We need to make it a network and an organization itself. There was a sense of community and prayer and actual spirituality that permeated that room at the House of the Redeemer in New York City. We talked about it. We asked ourselves, what would this take? I mean, there were only 12, 13, 14 congregations that were sitting there, but we knew from the research that had been helped by the Lilly Endowment, we knew that there were other congregations and that there was both need and opportunity for making a difference in the life of the church.
The last 2 years, we've been in unprecedented times. In our congregations, in our communities, in our church, and in the world as we know it. Many factors, economic uncertainty, racial inequity, a climate crisis, and a global pandemic, have created significant challenges and, dare I say, opportunities that none of us could have imagined just a short time ago. The SEEP Network has been nimble and innovative to meet the ever-changing needs of our parishes in this moment and in this time. There were key points when we were all staring at the same problem and we weren't quite sure in which direction to go or which sources of information to trust. The SEEP Network was there not only to host the conversation, but to remind us of the community that already existed within ourselves. The digital workshops in the early days of the pandemic connected both people and parishes across the country through dialogue, information, advice, and strategy. Together, we were able to move through the cycles of uncertainty, finding creativity and inspiration from one another. The workshops always provided that person with another good idea. There was a parish that was on the edge of paving a path forward. We could find comfort in the idea that we were never alone and that we were not having to just reinvent the wheel. Now we've delivered hundreds of digital workshops over a wide range of topics. The speakers and the disciplines cover a broad spectrum that offers insight for just about everyone and has always left us with something to take back to our home parishes. Approximately 1,000 of us gathered last year for SEEP's first digital annual conference. Consider where we were at that point in time, March of 2021, suffering from Zoom fatigue and digital overload. I think it really speaks volumes about the content of the conference that so many of us prioritized logging on and tuning in. Because of your participation in the digital workshops and the conference last year, we want to continue to explore how we can best support our member parishes. We want to host the conversation that asks the hard questions. We want to know what you're struggling with so we can offer a buoy. And we want to share and celebrate the successes of those that are at the forefront of ministry. It's because of you that the SEEP Network has been able to aid all of us in these ways. And with God's help, we'll continue to do so for years to come.
Hi everybody, I'm the Reverend Maurice Dyer and I serve at St. David's Church in Wayne, Pennsylvania. I want to invite you to join in with me for a moment to think about the future, to imagine what can become. When we think about the church, when we think about the world all around us, we know that we live in a time where leadership matters. And the SEEP Network has always been a leader. We have led the church in cultivating resources and generating networks. But I think it's time to think about the next step, an evolution. How do we think about the future? We think about resources, but I know that it's time to broaden what we mean by that. We think financial resources and incredibly important, but we can also think about people resources, missional resources. We should always be thinking about how to include more parishes into the network. When we look to Jesus, Jesus is always inviting more and more people to sit at the table with him. Likewise, we need to do the same. We need to be inviting more and more people into the network. So I want to invite you to join in with us in thinking about the future. Thank you.
Since its beginning, SEEP has constantly evolved to remain true to the call to support our member parishes. Now more than ever, we seek to strengthen leaders for a changing church in an ever-changing environment. SEEP leadership has recognized that the time has come for us to change our name to better reflect who we have become. On behalf of the Board of Directors and our Executive Director, I am excited to announce that our new name is Episcopal Parish Network. These 3 words perfectly describe who we have become. We've also created a new logo. The color is purple, which is the color of the Episcopal Church and the Anglican tradition. The interior crosses are recognizable as the same as those on the Episcopal shield. The larger outer cross is looped to unite the interior crosses and symbolizes our network. We are so happy to share this exciting news with you, and I invite you to celebrate our ongoing ministries together.
This is an exciting moment for us. As you just heard, today we become the Episcopal Parish Network. We're continuing the work of 36 years, bringing together lay and clergy leaders from across the church and around the country for learning, for fellowship, for the opportunity to network with each other, and most importantly, for the chance to be in a hopeful space together. Over the last few years, you've seen us expand our work beyond our conference into the digital workshops, webinars that we've been offering, into our colleague groups, and into the work that we're doing with partners like Trinity Church Wall Street on mission real estate opportunities. I'm certain that this new name expresses in a more expansive way this work and helps to communicate our commitment to the future of the parish church and its ministry. I hope that you're as excited about this new name as I am, and about what the future holds for the work of the parish and for our work as a network. We look forward to celebrating together for the rest of our time here in Atlanta and towards celebrating the future of a bright and hopeful church, responsive to the needs of its community and the world around it. Thanks for being with us.